In this demo, let's look at some simple things I can do with Kasten to ensure my Azure Kubernetes service clusters are resilient against ransomware attacks. First, we want all backup data being sent to an immutable off-cluster repository. I'll start in the Azure portal by creating a new Azure Storage account and enabling immutability. Within that account, I'll define a new container, which we can see now has immutability enabled by default. And finally, we'll copy the key required for authentication. To ensure I'm using the same configuration across all of my clusters, we'll define this location profile using Kasten's multi-cluster manager. We'll provide our storage account name and key, and then validate the container has been configured to support immutability. Lastly, I'll define how long all of the Azure Blob objects associated with active backups should be protected against deletion. With our location profile defined, I'll create a distribution rule to sync this profile to all of my current and future Kasten clusters. Let's jump into one of our AKS clusters to put this new backup location to use. We'll start by enabling K10DR, which will perform regular backups of our Kasten configuration and our catalog of application restore points. Moving over to applications, we see that I have multiple namespaces that include persistent volumes that I'll want to protect. I'll create a policy to perform daily snapshots and add additional namespaces that I want to protect. Oops! Clicking Create, it becomes obvious that I've overlooked enabling exports of my local snapshots to my immutable Azure location profile. But as a Kubernetes native solution, Kasten can leverage admission controllers like Kyverno or OPA to audit and enforce additional compliance rules for Kasten resources. In this case, requiring that all Kasten policies have export enabled. I'll fix my mistake by enabling snapshot exports, and then run the policy to create our initial backups. While our policy runs, let's look at how I can improve my cybersecurity posture by monitoring Kasten audit data for potential indicators of compromise. Azure makes it super simple to collect the data I'm interested in. First, I need to ensure I'm capturing my AKS cluster's audit logs, which can be used to monitor changes made to Kasten profiles or policies. Next, under Insights, we see I've already configured the Azure Monitor agent to send container logs to that same log analytics workspace. And now that I'm capturing these logs, we can use Azure Sentinel to monitor for and respond to threats to our Kubernetes data protection infrastructure. Under Analytics, I've already imported 2 example policies from the Kasten documentation. One to alert based on user tampering with our K10DR policy, and a second that leverages Kasten's built-in extended audit logging to detect manual deletions of resources that would be required to perform an application restore. Potentially a prime target for bad actors looking to limit an organization's ability to recover from a ransomware attack. I can see that in addition to querying our container logs for insights, I can also use Sentinel alerts to initiate automation playbooks. In this case, simply sending a Microsoft Teams message to my security operations team. But this could easily be extended to automate other tasks, such as initiating a Kasten restore of an impacted namespace on an alternate cluster. So let's see it in action. Here, I can see the different restore point resources that have been created by my Kasten policies. And I've got some stolen credentials that I'm going to use to wipe out all of them. Moments later, we get our detailed notification in Microsoft Teams, and I can dive in to start investigating the incident. Here I can see a consolidated list of all of the individual events related to our incident, which I might then extend to searching for other actions performed using these credentials, or from the same source IP, to see what our bad actor has been up to. Any early warning is an opportunity to mitigate damage. But once our environment has been resecured, what about all my deleted restore points? Immutable Azure Blob Storage to the rescue. Even in the event of direct tampering within the Kasten repository, I can restore my Kasten catalog with a single command, and from there, restore any other impacted workloads. So if you have Kubernetes applications you need to protect against ransomware or disaster, Check out the link on screen to get started with Kasten for free today.